Welcome to Threads of Sustainability, where you get to hear the passionate, informative, and engaging conversations of creatives, makers, manufacturers, and producers from all over the globe. We explore what sustainability can look like in the quilting, fiber, and textile world, and I'm your host, Bridget O'Flaherty, also known as the Sustainable Quilter. Welcome to another episode of Threads of Sustainability. I am your host, Bridget O'Flaherty, and this week I've got a super special guest. It's doing a little bit of a departure. I often focus on quilting and the production of quilting products and textiles that way, but I took a little sidestep because I met this amazing person on my way out to Halifax in June to Quilts of Canada. I stopped on the way and met a woman by the name of Karie Wylie, and she imports hand-woven baskets from Ghana. And I fell in love with the baskets immediately, and she and I became very fast friends. And I really like her story. I really became interested in how she became involved in bringing in these materials, these products from another country, and what that means for sustainability and how that is impacting those communities, as well as how it's impacting our communities here and what that can look like as a sustainable business. Anyway, so she and I have had some really interesting conversations. We are now also going to be heading out to a fiber festival called Twist. We're going to be connecting together there. And so it's kind of brought me into this other realm of textiles that's really not focused necessarily on quilting. It's on more of the fiber based. So she's a weaver, and some really, really interesting conversations around fair trade and what sustainability looks like when you're dealing with other countries and importing and all of that kind of stuff. I just thought it was an important conversation to have because we kind of have this idea of looking at fair trade as the right thing, and she gives us some perspective on that. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. I want to welcome Karie Wylie to the podcast today, Threads of Sustainability, and she's got a business called Big Blue Moma, and it's a super cool business that is baskets, but she's got this incredible history around textiles as well, and she's a really cool person, and I got to meet her a number of weeks ago. We've become fast friends, and I'm very excited to talk with you more and learn more about your journey. And so welcome, Karie.
Thank you. Yeah, we do have a mutual fan club going on, don't we?
Yeah, we like each other a lot.
Yeah,
it's
we
really
like
great.
each other a lot. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So tell me a little bit. So your baskets, tell me first of all that story. Like, how did you end up deciding you wanted to import baskets from Ghana to Canada?
Well, it was a very organic decision. I'm not even sure it's a decision that we made consciously. We were going back and forth to Ghana. My husband did a 6-month stint as a volunteer there.
Okay.
About 12 years ago, probably. And I went to visit him because it's not a place that's ever been on my radar.
Right.
I thought, oh yeah, I should go. I'm an adventurer. I can figure this out. I can see what's going on. And I felt really uncomfortable in the country. I can't explain it. It's a country that is filled with NGOs, and
Okay.
I was a tourist, which they're not used to, and there was just a lot of me figuring out how to navigate in a space where I was just kind of hanging out. They don't see that very often. Ghana's a really hard country to get into.
Okay.
Like you have to know people to get in.
Okay.
So that's how I wound up there. When I left, I bought a set of beads in the airport gift shop. And they were these beautiful, colorful beads that I just fell in love with. I have an arts degree in textile design. And so these beads really spoke to me. And I asked my husband to bring me back some. And all I meant was a couple of strands of beads. Right. So I could look at them and, dream
enjoy
about
them.
Colors and stuff and enjoy them. And instead he brought me 20 kilos.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I had to, it's a big joke in our house. He's a bulk buyer of things. So I had to figure out how to get rid of these beads, right? Like how to use these beads. So I started making jewelry, and, I did a couple of shows with the jewelry, and then I started bringing in some textiles, and I started doing some textiles. And then I went over with my husband with the intention of buying beads and buying fabric. And we wound up buying 40 baskets.
Okay, so tell me though, before you carry on there, there's about 1,000 questions out of what you just said that I want to dig into, but I won't go too deep into them just yet because I'll come back around to them. But the one, so when you went to buy baskets, who were you dealing with? Where did you go to see the baskets?
Well, we had done a microloan to a village in Ghana, and it didn't go very well, the microloan. We realized that that was not something that we wanted to do. And this trip that we did together was, to buy beads and to buy textiles, and also to close off the relationship with the microloan and just say, you know what, keep the money. We're really sorry this didn't work out. And the person who set up the loan for us, and kind of, I wouldn't say he set it up for us. The loan wasn't really set up. That was our fault. We did a poor job of that. But he was helping us with communication. His name is Wally Sue. And Wally Sue just kind of helped us. I said, I think we might be interested in seeing some baskets. And he said, okay, I've got it. In Ghana, in most African countries, you have a fixer. If you're white and you're traveling around, it's called a fixer.
Right.
And he's our fixer. And he's still, to this day, we work with him. So,
okay.
We've been working with him now for 13 years, and we have a great communication. I talk to him every day. And so he found the baskets for us. Yeah.
Okay. And so are they coming from one region, those baskets?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a bit more about that.
When you see a basket that's made like ours, I mean, you'd have to go to our website to see. This is not a visual medium, obviously, but with the handle that's the distinct,
with
weaving,
the leather wrap.
Yeah, the leather wrap.
Yeah.
The tight weave, the colors. They're from a region in Ghana called Bolgatanga, a town. It's a very small town. Don't know the population. Nobody knows the population because there's no census in Ghana.
Right.
But it's a small town with lots of outlying villages, and all of these villages picked up the craft of weaving years and years ago during the slow time for farming. So any time that they weren't farming the fields, they were weaving baskets to sort of bring income in. And then one, I think he was European, started exporting the baskets, and then the industry just kind of grew from there.
So what are the baskets made out of? What are they weaving?
It's a grass called elephant grass.
Okay.
So it's called that because it grows really tall, and it's very native to that region.
Okay.
Of Ghana.
And then they're dyeing them as well, right?
They're dyeing them. Yeah. Yeah. They dye them before. We have some baskets that are dyed before, and then, the pattern is woven in using the dyed grasses. Or we have some that are dyed afterwards, and they're kind of a solid color. There's two different looks, really.
Okay. And so you went over to buy about 40 baskets.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
We shipped the baskets over, and I said to my husband, we're never going to get rid of these baskets. Like, this is a lot of baskets for us to have in our house. Like, I wasn't sure about selling them. I didn't know how to go about selling them. And I'm not even sure how we sold the first baskets. Like, I knew that in order for it to be a sustainable business for me, it had to be wholesale.
Right.
So I had to bring them in and be able to wholesale them. Right. So I think I probably might have wholesaled some of those 40 baskets. Regardless, the business has grown, and last year we brought in 3 containers, so about 15,000 baskets.
Wow, that's a lot of baskets.
Yeah, it's a lot of baskets.
And that's going to the funds from that are going to this one region in Ghana.
This one region in Ghana.
Okay.
We curate our weavers. We talk to our weavers about the baskets they want to weave, and the kinds of colors they like to use. We don't really do a lot of direction. I don't think they need my direction. I like to see what they make, and I buy what they make. So it's not a line I design.
Right.
It's not a line that I participate I do some input, but I believe in what they do, and I believe what they do is great.
They're beautiful baskets. I love them.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think they're just fantastic and durable, and they last forever, and there's just so much that's lovely about them.
Yeah. I mean, I was really attracted to them. Actually connected to you through my sister, who Well, she was buying the leather measuring bracelets,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
which
I
are
remember
totally,
you mentioning that.
we'll talk about
Yeah.
that too. But so I went onto your site and then I saw these baskets. I was like, oh my God, I love these baskets. And I was going to do Quilt Canada and wanted to get some good stock that would be good for quilters that people would use. And
Yeah.
they're amazing for project baskets and knitting baskets, carrying all your stuff. And
Yeah.
just all the baskets are really good. So I am now thrilled to be carrying your baskets in my online store as well.
Yay.
And I use them myself. They actually are now throughout my house. I have baskets all over the place instead of plastic bins, which makes me feel so much better.
It's hard to just buy one. Like once
It
you
is.
start, then it's
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
screwed.
Yeah, I know. You should see. Well, were you didn't come in my house, I don't think. We
No, it
didn't
didn't
have
come
you
in
in
the
the house.
house. No.
But it was just, I mean, you saw our garage. It's full of
Yeah.
baskets.
It's
But my
full.
house is pretty close to that as well. They're
Yeah.
just a little more organized in the house, right?
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about so that in Ghana this group of folks that are making the baskets, is it primarily women?
It is.
Is
Yeah.
it the same women that you're dealing with all the time? And are you like one of their only customers, or are there a lot of customers for them?
There's a lot of customers, but it's you know, the basket business is a funky one. It takes up a lot of space,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You need a lot of space to store the baskets. And like I say, Ghana is a hard place to get into. So there seems to be some strategically placed basket sellers throughout the world. There's
Okay.
a couple in Canada for sure. We don't claim to have a monopoly on it, and I don't need a monopoly on it. I think the more baskets that are sold throughout the world, the better,
Yes. Yes.
because it's more supportive of the people. There's room in the marketplace for everyone, I think.
Yeah. And so tell me a bit about the people there in Ghana and how this business for them is what it's doing in their lives. Do you know that?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I like to think of it as a really symbiotic relationship, though, and I don't want to say that it is a business that is helping the people.
Because it's helping you as
Yeah,
well.
they help me. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like for a long time, this was our sole income in
Yeah.
our household. So, I am a for-profit business, and I I'm very open about the fact that I make a profit. I know I'm not going to get rich off these baskets. So really what we're doing is we're providing a long-term sustainable income for artists,
Yeah.
right? In that part of the world. We're fair trade. I don't like to use that word fair trade, that
Sure.
term, but we are very conscious of what it takes to live. And we make sure that everybody is happy and healthy and encouraged through their work and, paid well.
I want to dig into that a little bit. Why
Yeah.
don't you like using the term fair trade?
If someone sees me at a show and they walk into my booth, or anybody else that sells imports, and there's a lot of us out there, and they say, "Are you fair trade?" I'm not going to say no, right?
Right.
So everybody says, "Yes, I'm fair trade." And I think if that's enough for the customer, just the simple answer of yes, I'm not sure they're my customer,
Right.
because the way that I look at my business is, and this is true of any business I've ever had, even when I wasn't importing from a third world country, you have to be able to make money on every single level of that business. So, you know, in this, and everybody has to be happy and healthy and taken care of. And I'm not talking about, um, daily visits to the spa or anything like that. They just need they need to be able to live their life, and me too, and find out what makes me happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Work can't be everything
Yeah.
all the time. You need to have a balance. And so that means you have to be paid enough that you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So for me in this business, what that means is the people who collect the straw need to be fairly paid. The people who make the baskets need to be fairly paid. The people who collect the baskets for me need to be fairly paid. The shipping company needs to be fairly paid. The government needs to be paid, on both sides.
Yeah.
And then I wholesale. So I have to also make sure that my customers, my retail customers, my partners, my retail partners are able to mark up the basket and make enough money that they can sell it at a retail price, right? So
Yeah,
it has to be sustainable on every level. And I think a lot of people with fair trade, they don't necessarily think about that.
sure.
And I'm not entering into this as a flash in the pan. I don't want to do this for 5 years and then get out. I want this to be a long-term business and a long-term relationship that I can grow here,
Yeah,
and I can grow a reputation and a brand name with my customers so that we can grow over there and employ more weavers and buy more baskets and keep more people
yeah.
happy and educated and healthy and all of those things, right?
And so what makes you nervous of the term fair trade? Just that it's a maybe a misunderstood
Yeah,
term,
generic and overused, I think.
maybe
It's
a
sort
little
of like,
greenwashing.
yeah, a little greenwashing.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I see a lot of that white savior
Yes. Yes.
syndrome.
Okay,
And
so there's maybe a lot of people on here who don't know what white savior is. Do you want to talk it about that? I'm happy to talk about that a little bit
oh my goodness.
as two white ladies sitting here
Exactly,
talking
exactly. It's like as a
about
white
it.
savior talking about white savior syndrome, I'm like, ooh, gosh, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm going down all the ways that this could be misconstrued.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do high level. Let's
it's
just
too
do high
high
level.
level. We saw my personal experience with this whole idea before I knew the term white savior. Was a lot of NGOs going into a country such as Ghana and telling them how to do something,
Right.
and believing that because they are from the West, they know more. And they're going to save the country by, let's say, building a well.
Yeah.
And we'll put a well. And I'm not saying that this is all bad. It's not all bad. Everybody needs clean water. Everybody needs sanitation. However, if you go into a country without considering who they are, what their culture is, and what their priorities are, and you try to push your own beliefs on that culture,
Yeah.
that is white savior, right? We saw many NGOs that would, for example, put in a well and get everybody to come to the meetings, and tell them why it's good and why it's great. They put the well in, they put it all over the internet saying, this is what we did. Look at us. We're so great.
Yeah.
And then they don't maintain the well. And so then the well goes bad. And the people in Ghana are left, in the villages are left with a dirty well that they don't know how to maintain.
Right. And they would rather walk down to get their water where they've always gotten it
Right.
because they know how to do that.
Yeah. Like I sometimes I hesitate to say that. And I'm not saying that all NGOs are bad.
No,
I'm
of
just
course
saying
not.
that there is a perception that, like, I don't ever want to be perceived as someone who is telling people that my way is better, because it's not.
Or that you're fixing things by doing
Right.
this work in Ghana.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
understand that. And that was one of the reasons that I was kind of trying to ask you in a delicate way, what's your impact there, because it is a difficult position to be in because you want to respect the people you're working with. It's
Absolutely.
not all about the us over here in North America doing fair trade. We have to do fair trade. Well, what does that even mean? What
What does
is
that
fair
even
trade?
mean?
What does it even mean?
I mean, I think you have to ask the deeper questions, right?
Yeah,
Like what does that mean to me? And I've had to ask myself those questions too,
I bet.
because obviously I have to be able to articulate as I hesitate and, I'm in awe a lot. I'm trying to be conscious about what I say out of respect for
Yeah,
my business and the women that I deal with, and, Wally Sue and my collector. And um yeah, it's such a loaded thing. I think the world is getting more conscious of that.
I think so
I
too.
think, yeah, I think the priorities are less about appearances, and I think people are starting to ask more questions, and
Yeah,
that makes me happy,
yeah, same.
you know. Yeah.
So you went over there, you started this business, you started doing this fair trade business, but you touched on it a little bit about your interest because you've got the history with textiles. Tell me a little bit about that history. Tell me about where textiles started for you.
I went to art school 30 years ago. 35 years ago.
Which art school did you go to?
Alberta College of Art and Design. Now it's
Nice.
Alberta University of the Arts, I think.
Okay.
So I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Textile Design, but I specialize in weaving. Like
Okay.
I love weaving. I took 6 years of
Nice.
weaving. Yeah. And I still weave to this day. I took a 20-year hiatus because, I had to make money
Yep.
and I had to work and I didn't have space. I was living in tiny little apartments with no space for a loom, but now we have space for looms. And whenever I have even 20 minutes free, I just step into my little weaving room and I weave.
Nice.
Weaving is I have such a love for that craft. And I was drawn to it in art school because I felt it was very much a dying art form
Okay.
and very much a female art form.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily true. There are some great artists that are, weavers that are male as well. Like
Sure.
it's not solely women, but it's the association is it's a female
So
craft.
many of the needle crafts are really.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Yeah. Yeah.
And not exclusively, but definitely there's a strong association. Like I'm a quilter.
Yeah.
Quilter is definitely associated with women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I loved it. And so I did a lot of feminist kind of tapestries. I did a lot of conceptual tapestries and I really loved that for a while.
Hey everyone, it's Bridget, the Sustainable Quilter. I wanted to let you know about the Green Stitchers Hive. It's our brand new online community. It's a welcoming space where we can connect, share knowledge and resources, and support each other in our journey towards sustainable textile practices, whatever that means to you: quilting, weaving, knitting, felting, anything. Inside the Hive, we have workshops, monthly challenges, live Q&A sessions, live lectures with guest speakers, and opportunities to connect with other like-minded people. You can access the Green Stitchers Hive on my website at bridgetoflaherty.com. Can't wait to see you there. So what led you down the path of textiles in the first place? Did you do that as a kid? Did you have that in your life?
No, I learned to knit when I was 15, but I don't even know. I found a very kind woman named Catherine Dickerson. She's an amazing weaver and an amazing teacher. And I met her because I was trying to decide which department to go into. And I just had such a connection to her. And the things that she said, she spoke to me with such kindness and such gentleness. And I was kind of going through a rather traumatic period in my life. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try this for a while. I'm going to try it and see. And that was a 4 year. So I spent 2 years doing a preliminary kind of foundation year. And then I spent another 4 years weaving because I sort of broke it down and took some part-time as
I
well.
think that there is, and I've talked to a few other people about this, I think there's this ancestral connection
Mm-hmm.
often between women and textiles that we don't really know how to acknowledge necessarily. We touch a piece of fabric and kind of feel it in our bones. And
Isn't that interesting?
we just have there's this tactile love that attracts people to textiles, and it's often women, but it's obviously, like I said, we both said, it's not exclusive. And I think it's kind of everybody really has this attraction to textiles. And for me, it really goes deep. I feel like there's this DNA shift that happens to me when I'm working in fibers and textiles. I don't know.
Do you have a blanket collection like I do?
No, I just have threads, and I have a large amount of linens that I'm looking at right now.
Lynn, I know I can see you looking off it. See, this is mine, right? Like I've got
Yeah,
blankets behind me.
yeah,
Yeah, I have a thing lately for wool blankets
nice.
because I'm obsessed with the world or the word safe. And I keep thinking about blankets for some reason. So every time I go into an antique store or a flea market and I see an old wool blanket, I feel like I have to take it home and give it a nice, safe place to exist, to live the rest of its life.
I do actually pick up wool blankets as well. I totally do.
Right.
Because I kind of love the idea of using them as batting for quilts that I might be working on
Oh, that's so lovely.
or as a backing, because I'm not, wool's not itchy for me. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, me neither.
And because in the world of quilting, There's a lot of different materials that are available out there that are kind of what we would call sustainable. We can buy organics, we can buy natural materials, and so there are options around the general materials, and same with threads. There's organics and there's the RPET threads and that kind of stuff. So there's some options coming around now, but there's nothing much really in the batting world. There was an organic cotton batting for a while. They stopped producing it.
If you use a wool blanket, so you're using it in between the
Hmm.
two. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Makes for a heavier quilt, but I kind of don't mind.
So then it doesn't matter really what the blanket looks like.
Not really. It's a little trickier because you're dealing with shrinkage in a different way
Right.
because
Yeah,
cotton
yeah,
and
yeah.
wool will react when you wash them. But I'm assuming that by the time I'm getting them as a wool blanket,
Yeah.
it's been pretty well washed and
Yeah.
because they're coming from reuse centers.
Yeah.
And so I just if I'm selling that, I mean I don't sell any of my quilts that I'm making. I usually keep them. I just tell people to wash them in cold water
Cool.
and don't put them in the dryer.
You're kind of giving me a reason to pick up now every
No,
single
Gonna
wool
have-
blanket.
keep
So next
yeah.
time you come, I'll have a truckload for you and you can just, take them off
We'll
my
start
hands.
selling off old
I'll
blankets.
just start adopting every wool blanket I see now. Yeah.
I think that's maybe not a bad thing. I am verging on large adoption issues around linens because I do like there's folks that know that I like collecting linens and I haven't figured out what
Oh
to do with
yeah.
them yet. So I have
Uh-huh.
linen tablecloths and I have all kinds of linen napkins and placemats and they're just beautiful and they
I
have
love linen.
beautiful
Linen is my
embroidery.
favorite.
It's so lovely. And so I'm starting to get this kind of build up and now I have to figure out what I'm doing with them. I think I'm going to make quilts with them, but I'm not totally sure.
Oh God. Yeah. We should talk soon. We should talk.
Yeah.
We'll sit
We'll
down,
keep
we'll have a
talking.
brainstorming session. We'll play. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love
That'd
that.
be really good.
Yeah.
So you did you work as a textile artist for a while? Did you work in that space?
No, no,
No.
no,
It's
no.
always
I've
just
never
been on the
worked.
passion side for you.
You know what? I had to do a little inventory of all the businesses I've had and all the jobs. I did. I'm like, did I? Wait a minute. Did I? No, I didn't. No, I used to. I sew quite a bit.
Okay.
I'm I I'm a self-taught sewer. My mother tried to teach me, but it didn't work out very well.
Like sewing
So
clothing or
no, well, I did some clothing, but garments are really hard, right? Garments are,
yeah.
yeah, difficult. No, I did a lot of table linens, tablecloths, napkins with the Ghanaian fabric. Like I love the color. So I did that. But I find in this country people don't love color. They're sort of afraid of it.
Interesting. I love,
Hmm.
but then
Yeah,
I'm a
this,
quilter, so
yeah, you're a quilter. That's a special kind of,
yeah.
that's a niche market. Yeah.
It is niche. It's very niche.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't do it now. I just do it for fun for myself. So
Nice.
I have a really nice collection of Ghanaian tablecloths. Maybe we can trade for some linen. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh, that'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
we can do some
Well, we're getting
tradesies.
together in a couple of weeks for
Yeah,
Twist.
yeah.
So maybe
Yes, we
I'll
are.
come with a trunkload of stuff and
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
we'll
for
figure
sure.
out what we're doing.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Twist. I know this probably will be coming out after we've connected for Twist, but we'll talk about it anyway. So tell me about Twist. You've been before, right?
Yeah, I've done it now well, we had a 2-year hiatus with COVID. I did it last year and I've done it 2 years prior to COVID. And we used to actually travel in our little Airstream trailer out from Calgary all the way to St. Andre Evelyn just for Twist. Like it's a lovely festival. It's huge.
It's a fiber festival, right? So
It's a fiber festival. Yeah.
so what's
Yeah.
there? Like I've never been, but I've seen it online,
Okay, so it's a festival for a lot of knitters, weavers. They're doing a special little thing this year on sustainability.
which is
Uh,
one of the reasons that I'm
that's
coming
right.
along.
That's why
Yes.
you're going. That's why we made this happen. There's everything. Like it's a very interestingly curated show. There's clothing designers that make the stuff by hand. There's natural dyers. There's tons of knitting, like yarns and that sort of thing. It's a really, really interesting, diverse show.
Cool. And do you knit as well? Are you knitting?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
How many hobbies? Like, should we start counting now?
Too many. I have too many. And of course, this time of year, I also spend a lot of time mushroom hunting, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The
So
foraging.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm basically in the woods all the time right now.
Right.
So, I I just had a friend come in from Ontario for 3 days, and yesterday we spent 12 hours in the woods.
Oh my goodness.
And then we got home, we had all these plans in the woods. We were going to make this amazing mushroom dinner, and we were both like, yeah, I think I have to go to bed. Okay. Yeah, like I'm
You
really
didn't eat
tired.
anything.
Super dehydrated because we didn't drink water. We were just chatting
Right.
about things and like
Oh my God.
looking for mushrooms in the woods. But I did squeeze in like 20 minutes of weaving in between. We were switching forests. So
What are you
yeah.
making right now on your loom? What are you weaving?
I'm actually playing with, I have 3 looms. I have a computerized loom that I'm doing a technique called deflected double weave on, but I've had to kind of revamp that loom a little bit. So that piece is going. And then I have another loom that's about 100 years old, and I'm just playing with some tea towels.
Nice.
What I find with weaving, and I think why I love it so much, is you have to be present, but not too present.
Right.
So you have to concentrate, but not think about it, you know?
Okay.
So I have to be in that sweet spot of,
It's really rhythmic, right?
yeah, it's really, it's rhythmic, and it's delicate, and it's just, I think it's the ultimate for me. It's the ultimate in mindfulness, in just
Nice.
being in the moment. That's why I
Nice.
love it so much.
Nice.
So if I'm running around the house doing some stuff, I try to take a deep breath and just go over to my loom and just like, throw a couple of shuttles and
Nice.
get back to where I need to be. So
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's always good. We kind of need to check in with ourselves, and we all do
yeah,
that in different ways.
exactly.
We were talking earlier about regulating and being
Yeah, yeah,
dysregulated. This is probably a great way for you
yeah,
to kind of get yourself
yeah.
regulated.
Yeah. These are all words that are popping up in my vocabulary, and I'm relating them back to weaving,
Yeah.
like very easily relating them back to weaving. And I'm sort of understanding why weaving came into my life when it did, and why it came back into my life now. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that about sitting down with the sewing machine or even just drawing. I feel like I can kind of just get into this space of I can get lost. I can get lost for hours with
yeah,
drawing and with stitching. So,
I've been talking about drawing lately. I am craving that silence in the forest of drawing a mushroom.
oh
But the
yeah,
bugs are,
so you do
yeah.
plein air drawing.
Well, I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. Like I mean, obviously with my art school background, I have a little bit of drawing, but I just imagine myself sitting in the forest drawing some mushrooms and getting to understand the structure of them just a little bit more, like just kicking it up a notch. But
Yeah.
the bugs are so bad in the
Right.
forest.
Right.
I
Right.
can't, it's we might have to work on that a little bit. So
Yeah. I don't know how do we deal with that? Like we've got mosquitoes here that can just carry you home, and then
oh
deer
yeah, they're
flies and
ridiculous.
horse flies and
Yeah.
all the good fun stuff going on at this
You should
time.
come with me sometime, and then we can draw. We
Yeah, I would
can,
love that.
yeah, would
Yeah,
be
we'll get our
great.
sketchbooks out and we'll do some. I love doing sitting drawing while I'm in the spot of doing that. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm not very good at it, but I like doing it.
I don't think I'm very good at it either. It's been, 30 years since I picked up a colored pencil and played,
Yeah.
but I'm
Well,
willing to try.
we'll do some more stuff this fall. We'll get together.
Yeah, I love that.
So, how, I guess I'm going to come back to trying to wrap this up a little bit. How do people get in touch with you if they want to see what you're doing? How do they find you?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Big Blue Moma, or on Facebook at Big Blue Moma. You can visit our site, bigbluemoma.com, and Mama is spelled Moma.
You still go around and do festivals a little bit too, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I don't do a lot anymore because COVID kind of shook it up that way.
Right.
So I'm doing Twist. I'm doing the Mississippi Mills Fiber Festival in Almont, Ontario
That's like
in
20 minutes from me,
September.
by the way.
Oh my God, you have to come to that. It's a great festival.
Yeah, yeah. No, I always go to it. And
Oh, I
so
just love that
we'll
festival.
connect. We'll hang out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can come and sit in the Airstream, because we just pull our Airstream up for that one and throw baskets out. So it's a great one. And then I'm not really doing much. Like after that, I kind of settle in for the fall. I'm actually going to view some fiber festivals and just kind of hang out at them, because that's when the creativity really happens, when
Yeah,
you
for
don't
sure.
have to think about work too much.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Gives yourself
yeah,
space to actually be creative.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked through the art gallery the other day. I love going to the art gallery. suddenly these ideas of like I start thinking about, I analyze the colors and the texture and stuff as we were looking at portraits at this particular exhibit, but I just love the moments they're capturing and the energy that they're capturing. And all of a sudden, these ideas of projects I want to work on start coming out, and I start seeing them, how they're going to
Yeah.
look when they're finished, and what I want to incorporate in. And I don't know, being around art really feeds that for me.
Isn't it lovely? And
Yeah.
the concepts too. Like I start to think about where is this person that they're thinking about this as a concept? And what would I do if I was that, if I was in that space, where would I take it? And, how does that relate to me? I love,
Yeah.
big concepts.
I always find
So,
it interesting to read. I'm one of those people who goes into museums and art galleries and I read all the
oh, yeah,
stuff. It
yeah,
takes
yeah,
me
yeah,
ages to get through.
yeah,
I only
yeah,
got like a third of the way through this before they're closing. And I love reading the commentary that they're talking about, the things that people might have been thinking when they were doing the particular paintings.
yeah.
And I don't know, like as an artist, I also know that a lot of the time you're just trying to get it done. You're not really, and you're just looking at it going, there's something kind of missing up here. I should add a little leaf in there. And then suddenly that becomes this big idea of what they've done. And the artists aren't actually thinking that deeply when they're making it. They just
Yeah, I
want to
know. I
balance the
know.
color, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I
So
remember a couple of critiques at art school where I was like, yeah, sure, that's what it means. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
But it's nice to
Sure.
think,
Yeah.
sure, yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you saw that. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Anyway, I think that, I mean, it's not to say that people don't put that kind of thought. I've certainly am putting more thought and more planning in behind and more meaning behind what I'm working on in some of my pieces, but some of them it's not so much.
Yeah.
um, so well, thank you for this. You and I could probably talk for another 3 hours,
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure.
and we will talk for another 3 hours,
Yes, we will.
but not tonight. So I want to thank you for being here. I think it's a really good conversation to have. I like understanding the ideas around import and trade and businesses that are connecting with other countries and what that can look like. I think that people need to know about that in a different way.
Yeah. Well, thank you for this opportunity. This is great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved sharing my story with you.
good.
So,
Well,
yeah.
we'll do more.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
All right, we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Thanks, Bridget.
I really hope that that was an interesting conversation for you folks to listen to, because I think that we get caught up sometimes in the ideas of what we know from sitting over here in North America in a fairly privileged position, and that we're always doing our best, of course, to try and make conscious decisions, make sustainable decisions. But sometimes we forget who we are dealing with, that we're dealing with people on the other end of this, that there's always people involved. And we can get ahead of ourselves with this idea of white saviorism. I thought that was a really interesting part of that conversation with Karie. And I think that it's all positive work that we're all trying to do and trying to understand the best ways forward. And we need to keep doing more of that and having more awareness of our impacts and our decisions as we go forward. I'm looking forward to talking with Karie more. Like I said, I will be seeing her at the Fiber Festival Twist in Quebec this weekend, and I'm going to be doing some interviews out of that conference. Actually, I'll be doing some interviews on the spot. They'll be recorded and released as episodes later, and I'm definitely going to be having some more conversations with Karie about being a female in this textile world and how we deal with some of our traumas and how that gets expressed in the textile world in a way that we need to acknowledge and be able to work with and move forward with. So we're both pretty excited about having some conversations around that. So keep an eye out for future conversations with Karie from Big Blue Moma. And I would love to hear what you think about this episode. So shoot me a message on social media. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook as The Sustainable Quilter. And I look forward to connecting with you again. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to Threads of Sustainability. I really appreciate all the support that I've received over the last year. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, you can do that in a couple of different ways. You can go over to my website and you can buy me a cuppa, and that helps keep the lights on here. You can also follow, and share the podcast with people that you know that might be interested. If you're interested in joining a community where we talk about all the different kinds of things around sustainability and share projects and share our journeys with each other, you can join the Green Stitchers Hive. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can send me an email. I'd love to hear from you and hear what you think about the podcast. Have a great day.